Welcome to Mrs. V's Reading Corner, where you can enjoy books for educational, fun, or even bedtime stories. Please take the time to like this video, comment below with how you enjoyed it, book suggestions, and more. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get all the new books that I post first. William's House by Ginger Howard, illustrated by Larry Day. New England, 1637. William knew just the kind of house he wanted. It would be like the house he grew up in, his father's house, in England. William cleared an area 20 feet square. He used the felled trees from the upright posts. The saplings were used for the fence. Then he went to the woods and cut rafters to hold the thatched roof. He split planks for clapboards and he fashioned wood pegs to hold everything in place. William's wife Elizabeth wanted a window, but William had no glass. He scraped a piece of animal horn until it was transparent. Then he put a wide slit in the clapboards and covered the opening with the horn. William used clay and stones from the creek bed to build a small fireplace in one corner of the room. He placed two pegs on the wall, one for his extra shirt and one for his wife's apron. Then he made a board table with the side of a packing crate. And finally, he stuffed bags with corn husks for beds. When all was done, William and Elizabeth and their two sons sat on the board. They dipped their fingers into trenchers of pudding and bread. A noggin of cider was passed from hand to hand. After supper, they folded their long napkins and put them in the chest. As soon as it was dark, William covered the glowing embers of ash. William and his wife climbed into bed, and the boys climbed onto the table to sleep. William smiled. He thought of a new house, and it was just like the one he grew up in, his father's house in England. The days grew longer, and soon it was summer. "It is hotter here than at home in England," said William. The barrels of pork began to spoil, and the root vegetables began to sprout. "Something must be done," said his wife, "or we'll have no food." So William dug a hole deep in the cool earth behind the house. He moved the barrels and the vegetables into the new cellar. In August, the wind started to blow. "It is windier here than at home in England," said William. A strong gust blew a tree down near the house. "Something must be done," said his wife, "or we'll be crushed." So William cut away the trees and left a large clearing all around the house. By mid-October, the reds and oranges of autumn had turned to browns. "It is drier here than at home in England," said William. The sparks from the chimney landed on the dry thatch, and the roof began to smother. "Something must be done," said his wife, "or our house will burn." So William split shingles of cider and replaced the thatch on the roof. By late November, the days were short and gray. "There is more snow here than at home in England," said William. The snow piled higher and higher on the roof until the rafters sagged with the weight. "Something must be done," said his wife, "or the roof will cave in." So William cleared the snow and removed the shingles, then rebuilt a new roof with a very steep pitch and replaced the shingles. In January, the days were the bleakest of all. "It is colder here than at home in England," said William. The boys could not move their toes when they woke in the morning, and the dog could not wag his tail. Something must be done, said his wife, or we'll freeze in our sleep. So William built a new fireplace, wider and taller, in the center of the wall. One day, the sun was strong enough to melt the frozen crust of the newly formed buds. Spring had arrived, and with it, a ship from England sailed into the harbor. Familiar voices calling through the trees brought a quick halt to the family's work. William's face lit up as he, Elizabeth, and the boys all ran to greet cousin Samuel and his wife Constance. There were hugs and laughs and bursts of news and even more hugs. And then cousin Samuel turned towards the clearing. "What kind of house is this?" he asked. William turned also and took a long look at the house. The window was a piece of animal horn, the food was in a cellar, the house stood in a clearing, the roof was very steep and made of shingles, the fireplace was large and in the center of the wall. The house did not look like his father's house in England. William looked at his wife. Then he turned to his cousin and answered, "This is our new home. Welcome." They all went inside. The adults sat above the salt and the children stood below. They shared trenches and succotash stew and passed around a noggin of cider. The end.